it's going to be challenging. So, I mean, I think the things that we can at least hypothesize is that social distancing is going to be most difficult for people who are extroverts, and for people who part of their identity is formed around, like you said, a sports team or some other group of individuals that has to interact in real life. And that's going to be a struggle for those individuals. You know, for people who are, like myself, I'm an introvert. A lot of my activities can be done very easily through screens, like video games or Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that. It's very easy to transfer that stuff over into a screen world.
Right.
If you're sort of main hobbies or interests or sports interests are built around like baseball, it's going to be really, really difficult to move that into an online universe. There may be ways to creatively do that. I mean, so one of the things that's important is trying to find ways. So with social connections are founded upon what we call proximity. So the more we're around people, the closer we feel to them. Assuming that we like them. If we don't like them, that doesn't really help. But if we like them, it helps to be around people. If you don't like them, it might actually work in the opposite direction.
Right.
But so if we're pulled apart from people, it's hard to maintain those relationships. So finding ways where those groups can connect with each other through online universes, just to chat. There may be ways of doing some sort of simulation. You could if these people are into sports video games, that might be one way to kind of get some of that itch. It's not going to be the same. I'm not going to say it's even close to being the same experience, but finding ways to talk about the sport online through online chats. Be careful with Zoom. Apparently, there's a lot of trolling going on with Zoom, but there may be other ways. So finding organized ways to get these people together so they can talk about their interests and interact with each other. Through these like online chat groups, online parties, online social hours, that kind of stuff may help. It's not. I'm going to tell you, it's not going to be exactly the same.
Right.
And it's really just a placeholder for getting them back into the sporting activity that they're interested in doing. But these are going to be people that are going to be frustrated. They may experience some depression, some anxiety, because a lot of them are going to be disappointed because stuff they've been practicing for got canceled.
Right.
That's going to be part of it. But of course, just the fact they can't engage in this activity for the foreseeable future, we don't know when this is going to end, is going to be upsetting for a lot of these people. If you look at like the criteria, there's a lot of controversy about this, but like the way that like items are worded to try to diagnose if someone is addicted to something. I put that in air quotes because of the controversies around some of these symptoms.
Right.
But if you look at that, you will find that a lot of sports athletes, including adolescent sports athletes, would technically look like they're addicted to the sports. Now, I'm not saying that that's really a good way of thinking of this, or this is the. There are a lot of controversies about how addiction is diagnosed. But if you look at people who the symptoms they experience when they're not allowed to like smoke, for instance,
right.
You see a lot of the same kind of emotional reactions in people who are cut off from sport activities. We usually see this in athletes who are injured. So now we're going to see it happen in a lot of non-injured athletes. Who just got cut off from their experiences altogether by the virus. Again, I'm not saying they actually have a mental disorder here. I'm just saying that we will probably see a lot of the dysphoria, that anxiety, the frustration in that group of individuals because they're highly engaged, because they're highly interested in this activity, and now they just got, it's part of their identity, and it just got separated from them. Right. And that's going to be tough for them.